Hey, what's up guys, my name is Chris, and for this one I'm taking you back to iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus, Apple's first big phone flagships that were launched way back in 2014, and they set the current trend of a flagship and its bigger Plus variant ever since. So now we're in 2018, and the most obvious phone to look for if you're shopping around for an iPhone is iPhone 8 or 8 Plus, or even the modern iPhone 10. But that's if you're ready to part with anything between 800 and 1200 bucks. But there are also other older iPhones being sold on the Apple website and other online stores like Amazon and eBay. But the one I want us to look at today is iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus, going at 200 and 300 bucks respectively. And the question you're asking ourselves today is it worth it to buy an iPhone 6 or a 6 Plus in 2018? Will you really get value for your 200 or 300 bucks when you buy an iPhone 6 or a 6 Plus in 2018? And the only way we can answer that question is taking a look back at iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, their build quality, their performance, and how they stack up to 2018 and all the phones that are going at around the same prices they're going for in 2018, and how well they perform against these phones. So I'll try not to spend too much time on the design and build quality. I'm sure you've watched a couple of reviews by now, but it's still the same aluminum back and IPS LCD displays at the front. That is 4.7 inches for iPhone 6 and 5.5 inches for the iPhone 6 Plus. So these are almost the same displays we had on iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, also on iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. So you won't be missing out on much in the display department with this one. It's the same size, the same resolution, the same pixel density, it's all the same. The only difference is that there's no 3D touch support that's available in iPhone 7 and 8 flagships. You'll also be missing out on the True Tone feature, which is available on iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. True Tone is that feature I showed you in my iPhone 8 Plus review that adjusts the tone of your iPhone display to match your ambient lighting. So despite missing these two features, it's still a good display and it works well. It gets bright enough on both phones and the colors are good, and you'll definitely enjoy your 1080p display. So with the back of the phone also being metal, it means it obviously doesn't support wireless charging, which isn't a big deal to me because I've never really felt the need to use wireless charging ever since this technology came to phones. So I'm totally fine with that. iPhone 6 is also not water resistant, and again, this is a feature I can do without and not even care for a minute. I mean, it's nice when it's there, it's cool and all I guess, but it's not one of those features I'll be hunting down for when I'm looking for an iPhone, especially with a $300 budget. The speaker's at the bottom of the phone and it's a single downward facing speaker. It doesn't sound that great, I have to be honest, especially compared to other phones in this price range. And the fact that there's no second speaker in the earpiece section for stereo sound like we saw in iPhone 8, I literally found myself completely blocking out the sound with my finger accidentally a couple of times. It's a slight inconvenience, but it's not too big of a deal. Now on the other side is the 3.5mm headphone jack. This is probably the feature iPhone users, whether they want to admit it or not, miss the most. iPhone 6 and 6 Plus were actually the last flagships from Apple to sport the 3.5mm headphone jack. Of course, the newer iPhones have the lightning earbuds and the very inconvenient lightning to headphone dongle, but if you're looking for the true experience and the flexibility of a 3.5mm headphone jack on an iPhone, then iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus have to be a choice. I think iPhone 6s also had a 3.5mm headphone jack. The back of both phones has antenna bands running across at the top and the bottom, and that's something you don't see anymore in modern iPhones. So both phones are sporting an 8-megapixel main camera sensor with f2.2 aperture lens. I've actually gotten used to dual cameras on the bigger iPhones so much that it's almost impossible to think of a phone as big as the iPhone 6 Plus with a single main camera, but it does have a single main camera, and it's not a bad camera either, even in 2018. A lot of smartphones in this price range in 2018 will really struggle to keep up with this bad boy up here. So all the stuff we expect from a good camera are here. Color accuracy, dynamic range and sharpness are all good. It's obviously not in the iPhone 8 or the Google Pixel territory, but for a 2014 flagship, it's really good. The Plus version also takes this a notch higher. It's a bigger phone, so there's more space for camera optics. So they added optical image stabilization, which is responsible for transforming shaky photos and video recordings into sharp photos and steady videos, respectively. And I'm really impressed with the iPhone 6 Plus in this regard, even for someone who's been shooting videos on the iPhone 8 Plus for a while. This thing is really good. The front-facing cameras are 1.2 megapixel sensors with f2.2 aperture as well. Here are a few samples from the front camera. Obviously not the best selfies you'll see in 2018, but they're good. The only situation I see these cameras struggling a little bit is at night or in general low light conditions, and the fact that they don't have a front facing flash doesn't help at all. The other thing to look at is general performance and everyday running of the phone. So these phones are powered by Apple's A8 chip, and that for me seems to be running smoothly with only very few and far in between cases of lag and slowing down. These phones can also be upgraded all the way to iOS 11.3, which is the latest release from Apple, and it kind of fixes the battery issue that Apple had earlier in the year. So in terms of general use of the phone, I find nothing wrong with it per se. It obviously feels slower for me coming from an iPhone 8 Plus, but it's not anything that stopped me from doing anything that I wanted to do really with the phone. I've been using the phone for a week without any issues. I've played games, used social media and all. Even the RAM management on this phone is surprisingly good considering it's only 1 gig. And lastly, battery life. We cannot talk about performance of a phone and how good a phone is without talking about battery life. So it's only 1810 milliamperes for iPhone 6 and 2915 amperes for iPhone 6 Plus. And I know these numbers sound a little bit scary, especially in 2018 where we've been hearing Huawei doing 4000 milliamperes, Samsung doing 3500 milliampere. Even the newer iPhones have much bigger batteries, but I'm still getting a full day with this one, even as small as they are and as old as they are. These are actually 3-year-old batteries, but I'm still getting a full day of normal usage, and to me that's really impressive. And to address the CPU throttling issue, Apple also added the patch in iOS 11.3 where you can disable throttling and use your iPhone at peak performance. Battery replacements at the Apple Store have also gone down from around $79 to now $29, so it shouldn't be a problem if you're buying a refurbished iPhone or an iPhone that's been used continuously for the last 3 years. So in summary, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus are completely usable phones in 2018 in my opinion. They can run the latest version of iOS smoothly, they have decent cameras, decent displays, acceptable battery life, a headphone jack, iOS 11.3 experience. I mean, I can definitely recommend this phone to anyone who was a $300 or a $200 budget and they really want an iPhone. One thing to note though is that this phone is already more than 3 years old and it's definitely not exactly future proof if you're buying it in 2018. So but I guarantee you can get a solid 2 or 2.5 years out of this one before it really starts to get slow and laggy, and before the hardware is overtaken by time basically. So if you're just buying it to use it in the next 1 year or maximum 2 years, then you're safe. But if you're buying it as a long-term iPhone, then I don't think this is the right choice for you. You better go with iPhone 7 or iPhone 8. So let me know if you're considering buying an iPhone 6 or a 6 Plus in the comment section below, and also let me know what exactly you're looking for in an iPhone. I'll also leave a few links with the best iPhone deals on Amazon in the description below, so make sure you check that out. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.